All right, I have to show you guys that I was today years old. I don't know. That's the last thing I saw on TikTok before I went live. Um, what was I today years old? What did I learn today already? That our neighbors had to cut down a really big oak tree. It kind of bumps me out. What are you going to do? Good morning. Good morning, folks. Good morning. It is 8 a.m. I'm just making sure, honest to God, I'm just making sure I am. Yes, 8 a.m. TikTok Live. I mistakenly shut off my computer weirdly. We'll figure it. There we go. I gotta do this one thing here. Hold on. All right. There we go. Much more. Hey, Denise, good morning to you as well, and spreading sunshine. I gotta spread some sunshine by cleaning up my glasses, and man, do we have sunshine today. And Becky and German Maid and Jules and Cat Mama and all sorts of people showing up. Good morning. Good morning. All righty. So today we've got a busy morning. We do. I'll just let you know what's going on with me, because what's going on with me can go on with you too. So just real quick, and I'll probably repeat these things a number of times in the next hour or so. Good morning, Scrap Lover. Today, right now, TikTok Live on I'm practicing. Damn it. No. Thursday, June 19th. Oh, happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. Thursday, June 19th, 8 a.m. Eastern. Here we are doing a TikTok Live for the next hour or so. From there, boom, boom, right into a decluttering party. Decluttering party from 9 to 10:30, and then from 11 to 12 is a YouTube Live. Now I have to check this thing too. So notice what I tried today. Hey, Becky, and hey, Dean. Good morning to you as well. Good morning to you as well. You may have a calendar in your head. You may have a very loosey-goosey office in your head, but I will tell you, your head is more like the creative department versus the admin department, but we need both of them to live a good life. Now, I just noticed that the calendar in my head thought I had something going on at like 12:30. I look down at this one calendar, and I really only have two calendars, and I don't see it listed. But then I look over to my digital calendar, and lo and behold, I do have something at 12:30. So I'm going to put that on there, and I'm also going to check, yep. So always cross-check your references, okay? Good morning. Oh, hey, congratulations, Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Good morning. Be safe at the airport, have fun at the airport, and I hope you have a wonderful time in Florida for your daughter's graduation. Yeah, we were up in Vermont/New Hampshire for my niece's graduation just this past weekend, so 'tis the season. Coffee and chaos. I am raising neither coffee nor chaos, but my teacup, my extra big teacup for an extra big morning to you. And good morning. Yay, good stuff. Mama Pepper, nice to see you. Now, I will share with you, please do not, if I happen to not mention your name, do not take it personally, okay? It's the comments scroll by almost like a teleprompter, and sometimes they go zoop and I miss it. Alrighty. Kirsten, thank you for sharing that TMI about your pup in their splottery bottom, as they might say. I'm up at 5 a.m. because I've needed to take my dog out as he has had diarrhea. Haven't we all? Haven't we all had a splottery bottom? I feel bad for your pup, but hey, at least we'll keep you company, right? Get something good out of it. Maybe where you are, like for example, I just went out on a walk, and it is warm out there. Maybe it's a little bit cooler. Maybe the temperature is out. Maybe it's quieter in your neighborhood or your home when you're up. If you have to be up early, you're helping out your pup, and try to do something good for yourself. Drink some water. Here's a fun thing I noticed is that I was somewhat reluctant to make myself a cup of hot tea this morning, even though I'm a hottie. And there we go. Notice Kirsten just said, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you as well. My yard is lovely and the birds are singing. So notice that so much of it, I was on a coaching call yesterday, And my client said, well, it's a mind thing. And I said to her, honey bunch, and I mean this with the most love in my heart, everything is a mind thing. So many things, anyway, are up here that make you feel in here. So you could be resentful, or you can say, hey, you know what? I'm up anyway. Let me connect with the bigger picture, right? Oh, there we go. Kirsten, if it feels any better, Cat Mama's cat is coughing up at 5 for hairballs. Maybe the universe said to the animals, get your people up in the morning. Okay? So good morning. Good morning, Reclaiming Jen. And good morning, everybody. Again, I say this all the time. I will continue to say it. In case we haven't met, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and my coaching here on TikTok is called Destination Decluttered. My coaching on YouTube is called Destination Decluttering. Here on TikTok is called Destination Decluttered. My coaching on YouTube is called Destination Decluttered. And my coaching on the internet in general, my website is destinationdecluttered.com. Now, I call it Destination Decluttered because, honest to God, I, throughout my life, been able to plan really good trips, really good road trips. And yet, at a certain point in my life when I was frustrated about what was going on and what wasn't going on, clutter-wise and otherwise, I said to myself, kind of in frustration, why can't I plan my life like a road trip? Well, the great thing is, I have a voice inside my head that says stuff in frustration, but I have another voice in my head that says, I don't know, why can't you? Why don't you give it a shot? And that idea of thinking of my life, kind of just draining out the drama and saying, pretend this is not what's going on personally, professionally, all that. What if I was in my car? What would I do here? What would I do here if I was in my car? It empties it out of the drama and gets you more into curiosity mode and just kind of objective, So I'm here to help you with your clutter. So if you have any problems with clutter, here I do. I show up live. I'm a philanthropist that way. Now, I love this. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is talking about how good it's going to feel when she gets home from the trip she's about to take. So talk about destination. She's got destination Florida. Oh my God, how did I pronounce it like that? I sound like Mrs. Tanetta. Mama T. What I want to suggest is when she's in Florida, she's going to be destination home. And knowing that when she comes home, she said, I made sure I made the bed before I left. We will be able to fall into bed when we get back on Sunday. So notice what you do today may not be something you enjoy today physically, but that you look forward to something that you are making happen. I look forward to flopping into bed when I get home on Sunday. So I love it. Gandalf the Grey is great. Glad you ran into this page. Cool. I'm glad you are too. I started bagging and tagging things to donate. Wonderful. Lots to do. What is it? Ad hoc, ad hoc, quid pro quo. So little time, so much to do. No, I got to get it right. Yeah. So wonderful. Wonderful that what we do here is helping you. Judy, good morning. Good morning to you as well. Speaking of this morning, I would be remiss in reminding you, and I will do this a couple times too. There's a declutter party this morning, right? Yeah, bag and tag. I love that. Yes. Kirsten says, I'm appreciating your skills at positive focus. Kirsten, you know how I got this way? Wasn't born this way. Well, you know what? I stand corrected. Perhaps I was born this way, but I wasn't raised that way. I was not raised this way. I practiced. It's like a different language. It's learning Spanish. Okay? I love it. Abbott Elementary is saying, good morning, making my plan of action. And you know what 2 words I love in that besides making? Plan and action. But before you can even get to planning and actioning your plans, right? What I want to help you with is this, is noticing the connection. There is a connection between how you think and how you feel. And there's a connection between how you think about your clutter and how you feel about your clutter and what you do about your clutter. Okay? So I am really here, as I said, not just a decluttering coach, not a professional organizer, all that stuff that I am anyway, but I really think it's important for us as human beings to realize that we are connected to our thoughts, our feelings, and other people around us, and how those things help us. So please notice the connection of how you talk about your clutter in your head. You know? Now, Judy, I hope next week your ribs will be ready for a decluttering party too. I do. You know what you could do? I'm not trying to convince you to go on one. What I want to remind you though is, everybody, notice Judy. Judy broke a rib. She slipped in the tub. She doesn't feel good. When you're not feeling good physically, other things seem more difficult as well. So, what can you do this morning to make yourself feel better? Good morning, Patty. Yay, you're back on the email list. I love it. What can you do this morning? Even see if you need to do anything to make yourself feel better. Do a scan. We always use the word down because it's a nice prompt and you can use it a lot. From the top of your head to the down to the bottoms of your feet. You know? Down to the bottoms of your feet. Is anything kind of out of alignment? Now, sometimes I have headaches. Sometimes I have stomach aches. Sometimes I have achy muscles. I try to do something to make myself feel better. And even if you're saying I feel fine, your life can always be improved by a couple of sips of water. Okay? Now, how you feel physically is going to be important. And how you feel, I like to call it energetically. Because it's your nervous system, but it's your energetic, spiritually, all the electricity going through you. Like kind of what wavelength is it on? Is it all, you know what I mean? Kind of like, what is that? Weird science, you know, something like that. Or is it more like gentle waves of sound waves going by? Okay. Now, I mention those two things always. I try to anyway. I'm not perfect. I'm a human. I'm not AI generated. I like to remind you of those things in the morning and throughout the day, because those two things, when you kind of feel better physically and do things to make yourself feel better energetically, then the action plan feels easier to not just do, to create the plan, but put the plan in place. Okay? Now Ellen says, I'm trying to manifest your energy so I can find a dress for a wedding again. Hard for me. Okay. What I want to offer to you, this is what's helped me, Ellen, is realizing that all of us look worse naked than we do clothed. Trying to love myself with the skin I have, with the age I have, with the cellulite I have, with the lack of muscle I have, with the way I am. And I'll be honest, I'm trying to lose a few pounds. Why would I lie about that? I am, going through the change and body issues and all that. What has helped me is practice. So much of what's going to help you with decluttering or finding a dress for a wedding or talking nicely to yourself is practice, practice, practice. So what I want to offer to you, Ellen, is practice it. I have gotten so much better in the last couple of weeks of not being as afraid to see my body in a full-length mirror in a dressing room. I have been afraid of that before, and I haven't even gone to a store to buy clothes. I've ordered them online, and if they were kind of floppy and whatever, it's like, fine. So practice. Practice not being so hard on yourself. You may be pleasantly surprised. I was surprised that I found a dress that I liked, and I wasn't sure how it was going to fit. I was surprised at how nicely it fit in the size that I wore. I put on a bigger size. That actually looked a little bit big. So be kind to yourself. Deep breaths. Take breaks. Love yourself and realize that everybody looks crappy naked. And if they don't, they're AI generated or airbrushed, okay? Or they're just young and blessed, okay? So, here we go. Gandalf is mentioning mine is most definitely emotional and psychological. Yes, most of us are, so you're in good company. Okay. Patty is decluttering lists of things I really need to get done and discarding things I don't. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So, yeah. Now, I want to suggest this to you guys, because we're talking about lists. I am a list maker. Yeah. You know what? I am a list maker like nobody's business. I literally have hundreds, if not probably 1,000 things on various lists in one place, though, in one place. And I will tell you, it is not on my list of things to do today or even this week or even this month because I'm running out of my notebooks. It is good to get you out of... I lost my train of thought because I saw the thing. I will totally confess. Patty was talking about the lighting in dressing rooms aren't always good. They are horrible. They are horrible, at least the ones I was in. It's like my skin looks like craters and stuff. But it's okay. That's why we're buying clothes to cover, you know? So what I want to offer is making a list is good. Making a huge list can be helpful. Emptying out the clutter from your brain, but do it this way. Do it this way. Thank you, Gandalf. Yes. Here's how you do it. Your brain has stuff swirling around in it like spaghetti. Pretend each thought, each thing is a strand of spaghetti because it has a beginning, it has an end, and it's usually like a sentence. So think of it like a sentence of spaghetti. But if you leave it in your head, it is swirling around like spaghetti in a pot, boiling water. What's going to help you feel better is instead of getting that swirl of, oh my God, all the things, all the spaghetti, dump it out into the colander. Dump it out, drain it out, and then one by one, write down the stuff that comes up. As I like to say, whatever comes up, write it down. And in the beginning, you may just have a big old list. What I highly recommend is as soon as you can, and especially let's even do it declutter-wise and otherwise, chunk it down into categories. This is why I highly recommend getting just a blank old notebook and literally going room by room, going page by page. Use the pages. That's what they're meant for. And when you have stuff to write down, here's errands outside the house. Here's things I need to order online, appointments I need to make. Make each one of those have its own list. So instead of having a giant cluttered list, like a huge junk drawer, you have actually dumped it out, but you've made a space. You've made a little container for the thoughts about that particular category. What that does is it's the same amount of things, but it's less overwhelming for two reasons. Because it's not scattered. You're not pivoting from, re-tiling the bathroom floor to needing to buy some chapstick at Wegmans. You're not pivoting. You're keeping focused on one area. And then you have a shorter list so it feels more doable. Okay? Yep. And so try this with your lists. And as Cat Mama says, it's so fun to cross stuff off a list. I wring out my lists for maximum dopamine. You have ADHD, or you think you do? If you think you do, you probably do. No big deal. We love it. I do that, so I will do this. And I've done a video on this. I've got videos here on my TikTok page, and there's a ton of videos on my YouTube channel. I think about each time I do something, I get like a little tidbit, a little dopamine hit, maybe a little Hershey's Kiss, maybe a Wilbur Bud since I'm in PA. And here's what you do, is you have an idea in your head. You say, ooh, good idea. Yay, me for thinking of a good idea. Then I write it down. When I write it down, yay. Now I don't have to carry it around with me like a heavy piece of luggage, or think of your head as like a suitcase with all sorts of thoughts in it. The more you write it down, the more it becomes like a suitcase that you check, or maybe one of those ones with wheels. Okay? When I write it down, I feel good. When I put my item on the list onto my calendar, I feel good. When I do the thing that's now on my calendar and cross it off, I feel good. And plus, I put it in my road trip book. I put it in my book of good stuff I've made happen. So the one action goes from my head to my heart, to say, is this good enough to write down? I say, yes, just whatever it is, write it down. You can always cross it off later. My head to my heart to my hand, my writing hand, to writing it down on paper, to chunking it down and putting it down on my calendar, crossing it off. So think of all the ways in which you can feel good about every single action you take. Notice how it's good to say, yay, I'm so glad I got that done. That's how I do it, and it works for me. I offer that to you as something to experiment with. Play around with it. Prove me wrong, okay? So notice this. Yeah, Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, I keep a list on my, and it feels so good when the list finally fits on the screen. I will say this, I am adding stuff to my list all the frickin' time. I am. I know that my list will always be stuff coming off, stuff coming on. It's in flow. It's in flow. Do I like it when my lists get smaller? Yes. But they will never really truly be done, but that's okay because they're good ideas of how to make things better. Notice your ideas. Are they thoughts that are making you feel worse? Or are they thoughts that are making you feel better? Now notice up above, Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, I tried on clothes for this trip and I realized I've outsized a bunch of outfits. But she says maybe, and the answer is yes, you are making progress because I didn't speak cruelly to myself. Just matter of fact. Nope, this doesn't fit right now. Notice the difference. You don't have to go from being so wicked mean to yourself to like Pollyanna embracing your cellulite. That's my issue, right? But taking the drama out of it from either way, the love, the truth, the extra, and just being like, you know what? This is my human body. This is what it looks like now. And currently, it does not. Those clothes feel more snug than I'd like to. Notice how good it can feel to turn down the volume on the unhelpful thoughts. Now, I will offer, because saying, okay, Gandalf has got the aha moment. That's a really great point. My thoughts are good because they are to make me better. Yeah, not that you're not great right now. But if there's something you can think of that you think would make your life a little bit better, I don't know, experiment with it. Why the hell not? Even if it's good, how about even just maintaining the good? How about trying to be even a little bit better? Why not? There was something I was going to say, and I'm about to remember it, so give me a sec. This is live. There we go. Ellen says, as soon as I get home, I'll start writing down. She's walking, I think, 1 block. Yeah, you know what I do? I'll be honest with you, Ellen, is I have an app, and it's wicked easy to use. They've changed it recently. I have an app on my phone that's connected to an app on my desktop called Trello. And it's really I just use it. It has all these bells and whistles I do not use it for. But I have gotten into the habit over the last 5 years to use it for my list making. And I'm able to text myself a message and it shows up there, right? And so I offer to you, yeah, try to keep the thoughts in your head if it's good. And this is what I say to myself too. Like notice earlier, especially you'll see this because this is recorded and it's going to be uploaded to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. Notice how I said, I had an idea, and then whoosh, it went away. What I say to myself is I don't worry. Well, sometimes I worry, oh my God, I'm going to get dementia and all that because stuff like that has run in my family. But what I feel better saying is, if it's a really good idea, it's going to reappear. Ideas are like all the time, right? Trust that if it was a really good idea, it's going to come back. So trust that by the time you get home, you will remember that good idea. Now, I like to, as soon as I can, declutter my brain all the frickin' time. It gives me a sense of calm. It gives me a sense of control. It gives me a sense of making a plan to get all those ideas out of my head and down somewhere where I can look at them. When I can look at them, I have some distance from them because I can't look at them. I cannot turn my eyeballs upside down into my brain and see those thoughts. But when they are out of me and I can look at them, oh, I think I know. See, this is coming back. When I look at them differently than when they're in my head. I can see them more objectively, almost like evidence in a court. You know, just the facts, ma'am. Just taking down the facts. What do I need to do to get from Philadelphia to, Harrisburg? Well, I need to go on 76 and then 276 and take a left and a right. You know what I mean? This is what I was going to say. Talking about writing down things, this is something that has been really powerful for me. So this comes from more like not just the practical stuff of decluttering your brain, but the life coaching part. Writing down the not so pleasant thoughts you have and in your head. Decluttering those thoughts, getting them temporarily, because they're going to come back like weeds, down on paper. And then, as I said earlier, when somebody says, I want to kind of emulate your good vibes, your good energy, as I said, it's like learning a different language. Practice speaking in another language. Yo no hablo español muy bien. Pero yo try to do it, but I haven't practicar. I have not practiced, Pero if I practiced, I would get better at it. So I say this to you. Use this as a way that you can practice speaking to yourself better. This is a really fun way. It may not feel fun at first because you're going to have to listen to your unhelpful thoughts and write them down. But when you do that, you're going to do it on half a piece of paper. On the other side of that thought, though, you are going to translate that into something better. You are going to translate it into the opposite. If you're saying, you know what, I feel so old. I don't know if this is the opposite. It's like, I'm the youngest I will ever be. Right now, I'm as young as I'll ever be. I will be older in 23 minutes. I was 21 years when I wrote this song. I'm 22 now, but it won't be for long. I was thinking about that song this weekend. Taking the sting out of your unhelpful thoughts. Chunking them down. Noticing where they're just wrong. So what if I have cellulite? I am doing so much good in the world. Everybody looks not so good naked. I admire the people who, and this is because we're talking about, getting dressed and finding clothes and everything. I truly admire the people that have better body images than I do, but I'm working on it. I admire people who look confident in their clothing. I see, what do I call it? Like role models. So I show up to you as a role model saying to myself, I'm fully human here. And I am also hopefully your role model in how to take care of your physical self, your energetic self, and learn the skills of decluttering. Learn how to calm down, the unhelpful thoughts. So then you get quiet. And then you say, hey, you know what? Right now, after doing that, I feel better. I've learned something about myself because I've learned what triggers me into getting into an anxiety overwhelmed state. And I can diffuse that bomb. I can put down the ducky, And when I feel better, I do better. Okay? And feeling better and calm down and in control is power both within yourself and within your home and within the world. And I will offer to you in no other time in my personal history, and maybe yours too, have we been confronted with such atrocities in what is going on politically in our country and personally, maybe with hate and fear and greed. Now more than ever, it is going to be important for you to survive what we're doing without losing your shit by learning the skills of taking care of your physical body, of calming down your nervous system, about not giving away your power to somebody else to make you feel fearful, but keeping control of your power and saying, I can do something about this shitty situation. Okay? So this is a skill that transcends just decluttering. But you know what? Let's practice it with clutter, because why the hell not? Who doesn't want to live in a home that feels good? I know I do. It's getting there. Every day it's getting closer. Every day it's getting closer. Every day it's going from being temporarily cluttered because of the basement to getting a little bit better. I love that. I could focus on the fact that I could tell you probably this stuff's been here for 2 months. But I tell myself instead it's temporary. It's only there temporarily. I know right now our living room looks worse than the last few months because my husband is doing stored clutter decluttering. Because we're about to put stuff back in the basement within the next week. And I said, could you go through? And I said, this is what I would do if I was coaching. I would say, go through your stuff, categorize it. Notice what you have. Notice what works and what doesn't. Are you cool with the quality and quantity of what you have? Once we know what quantity you have and you're good with keeping that and everything works, then we can find a better container that we can label so it fits on the shelves downstairs so you can easily find it, easily use it, and easily put it away. Okay? When you can easily find something, easily use it, and easily put it back, and it looks good to you, to me, that feels good. That feels good to me. Is there anything else that you would like to add to your destination decluttered? What is your home destination decluttered? Write it down. Okay, user 16889266 says, my rooms always look worse before they look better, but I'm not sure why. I will tell you why. Because it is a process. It is a process, and you are getting afraid of the worse. But it's just having it look temporarily worse is part of the journey, part of the process. I like to think of this. So use this image in your head, making chocolate chip cookies, Toll House cookies from Massachusetts, okay? Before the cookies, you have a nice bag of flour. The eggs are in their shells. You've got a cup of chocolate chips. You've got your clean bowl. That's before. During the process to get to your destination of cookies, flour will get all the way. You're going to break an egg and you may get a chip in there. You're going to, pour something in and something's going to poof out. You're going to go like this, and the whisk is going to get gunky, and the bowl is going to get messy. On the way to it being better, do not be afraid when things look temporarily worse. On the way to looking more permanently, not permanently, but more permanently better. Think of chocolate chip cookies, making chocolate chip cookies. It's a process from ingredients to completion, okay? And everything is a process. In order to have a child, you're going to go through some pain. You're going to have some fun at the beginning, and then you're going to go through the stuff. Now, I've not had children, but think about how many things where there is a temporarily worse on the way to feeling better. Get used to the discomfort of the temporarily worse, but know that it's just temporary. Don't be afraid of it don't freak out when you make a mess, and stop. Say this is part of the process and continue on. And if you don't know what to do when things get messy, chunk it down and categorize it. Chunk it down, categorize it, make some decisions. And I can elaborate on that, because that's what I do. This is what I do. Kara's Garden. I love it. Katja says, I'm saving that cookie analogy. Thank you. You're welcome. I offer all of these analogies, the road trip analogies, the swimming pool analogy, the ocean analogy. I love talking in metaphor, in analogy, in something we can relate to that exists in the real world. If this is like this here, where else can it happen? Noticing a repeating pattern. That's probably part of my ADHD, is pattern recognition and seeing a framework behind things. So I share that with you, and that might stick with you. So the next time that you are decluttering, especially stored clutter, because we have surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental clutter. Stored clutter, if you think about it, is like a junk drawer. You're storing junk in a junk drawer and it fits that drawer. In order to better see what you have to make decisions on it, oftentimes you need to get things out of that drawer. But if you dump it all out, all over the place, you may temporarily overwhelm yourself. So what I say is from the get-go, much like we were decluttering your brain earlier by writing it down, look for categories before you even start to empty the drawer. Look for categories. I'm imagining the junk drawer, of which there were many in the house that I grew up in, and I'm imagining opening it up and I'm seeing, okay, there's pencils, so I'm going to make a pile of pencils. What else can I bring out? Where can I play matchy-matchy? Where can I make this fun? Where can I play a game of I'm going to find like items together? I had no idea I had so many, colored pencils. Or I did not realize we had 14 pairs of scissors in this. Or why do I have 7 spatulas? Look for the union label. Look for like items. Look for things that match. Play matchy-matchy. Maybe it's, instead of just pencils, you're saying writing implements. You can change those things. But instead of dumping everything out, get curious about stuff and just start with a category. Chunk it down from the get-go so you don't even overwhelm yourself. That's why I do not like it. Yes, categories, Patty, categories. It's trying to start organizing things. So, Patty, do you have a specific place? Pacific. I'm Atlantic, not Pacific. Do you have a specific place in your home where you want to start to organize your things? Notice you're being very general. General is a good start. Trying to start to organize things. Is there a particular area that you want to start? Notice we're going from general to specific. That's also categorizing. Now it could be a front hall closet. And then you look and you see there's a lot of coats here. All right? But are they winter? Okay, your closet. Okay, your closet with your clothes in it, I'm assuming. Your clothes are a very general category. So let's get more specific. So your closet. Now, you and I live on the same latitude, so the weather where you are is probably about as warm as mine. So what you might want to think of is going through your winter clothes. And not just winter clothes. Winter clothes is more specific than clothes. But, okay, had to go through a lot of stuff and it's not fitting. That's a category. Categories are great because you can just make them up any way you want to cut up the pie. Clothing that doesn't currently fit on my body is a category of the clothing that's in my closet. So I can choose to put those to the side. I can hang those all on that side. I may have clothing I'm not sure fits me. So that goes in another pile or section. I have clothes that I know damn well fit me and I'm wearing, and that stuff is usually in the laundry. So notice your categories, people. Categories. Names of. Dressy tops. Right, dressy tops. So let's say you say I have dressy tops. They can still fit into does it fit me? Does it not fit me? Do I still like it? I go through phases with my clothes. That's why you so often see me in just a black t-shirt. Because I go through phases of my clothes and then I get kind of tired of them. Some patterns stay with me. Black and white, Marimekko stripes. That's a classic for me. But a lot of things to me are trendy. I see them and I'm like, oh, that's fun. And I get bored with it. So notice the stuff. Maybe it's clothes I don't like wearing anymore. Something I thought was going to work out but didn't. Practice your own categories. Now let's get to something fun too. Kara's Garden is showing up today. She's shipping 3 things. She's listing 5 things. Notice this list. It has a verb and an object of the verb, I guess. She's shipping times 3, list times 5. Savers, the verb would be going to Savers, right? Work is a verb, but I'm sure there's something more specific she's working on. Oil change, go either change the oil or pay someone to get oil change. Water the garden, Amazon return. New Balance outlet near IKEA, awesome, cool, yeah. Now, here's a good thing. So yay for you making a list. Make sure your list has some verbs in it. Make it more real. If you write down a complete sentence, that's going to even increase your likelihood of doing something versus just jotting down a little thing. Now, I know Kara's here and she's typing it on her phone or whatever, but notice that the more you write about something, the more words you use about it, the more real it can become. So be mindful of the words you use, a lot of words to describe how awful you feel. How about stopping that and start speaking in words that feel better? Use twice as many words to say how you feel better. For every one sentence of crappy, tell yourself 2 nice things. I love it. Kirsten's going to care for her chickens, her rabbits, her chicks ×2, and her friends' cats. Look at what a caring person you are. That's awesome. Now, one really good thing that is noticing, Patty is noticing now that she's doing this, decluttering party. And again, we have a decluttering party coming up in 20 minutes. So if you want more specific help or you just want some accountability, some support, some company while you're doing this, if you're feeling alone in your house when you declutter, that's why I do these declutter parties, so you don't feel alone. If you want to join the declutter party, it's wicked easy. Excuse me. Talk about feeling better. I get itchy. DestinationDeclutter.com is my website. DestinationDeclutter.com, when you scroll to the bottom of the front page, has a place that says, join my mailing list. Join the mailing list. You get an automatic email with a link to it, link to a secret page. The secret page has the link to the party. Now, I know that's just a couple of steps for those of you who are not on the mailing list, but once you're on the mailing list, you're on it, right? So join if you want some help. You do not have to declutter alone. There is a difference between doing it alone and especially, I don't know if you live with people who might chime in on what you should keep and what not. Sometimes it's good to be alone in that way, but it also can be kind of like a study group. It can be I'm working on the same thing that somebody else is working on, but I'm also in my own head asking myself these questions. Do I like this dressy top or not? Yeah. It happens in 18 minutes. We have one on Friday, and we've got a whole bunch more this month. Then it's going to start to decrease until September. Okay, just letting you know kind of the lay of the land. Now, Kara brings up a good point that, again, we always go back to the same framework all the time, and I make this obvious. I want you to see the framework behind what I am teaching you, because then you will be like, oh, that's right. That goes back to this thing. It's not something new. Kara's also noticing also mid-90s here. Now, it's mid-90s here already, here in PA, and we are more south than you by about 6 hours or so. So it's already sticky. Notice what that has to do with how you feel physically. If you are too hot, if your thighs are sticking together because of sweat, if sweat is pouring down, if you're getting hot, if you feel like you're being burned by the sun, if you're dehydrating, if you don't feel good, it's going to be harder to do other things. Now, we are totally noticing this in my house because I run cooler than my husband, and so he got hot really easy. So already we have windows shut and air conditioning kind of on, So notice what you can do to make yourself feel better today. Again, I am team drink some water. Can't hurt. There we go. Ellen, we are there with you. We are there with you, sending you good vibes. When you get out of that dressing room, we are there with you in the three-way mirror, telling you how awesome you look. So there, I'm off to the workout and then hit the stores. I'll be hopeful. Yeah. So notice that. And I love it. Kara got a jump start on today by making her list for today yesterday. User 524 is asking what all these things are. Those are containers for stuff, but not clutter. It's stuff I decided to keep, and it's containerized, and it's categorized. So I've got jewelry in one. I've got bracelets in one. I've got vintage postcards in another. I've got cassette tapes in another. I've got my coaching materials in another. So what I offer to you is that's how I teach you how to declutter. I'm already good. I have some stuff that's cluttering up my house temporarily, but it's not stressing me out, and it's gonna get done when the time is right, because we can't do it until the basement is done and the basement is being worked on. There we go. I love it. Kara is making her list, checking it twice, and she says, as I'm going through the garage, I found 6 family old laptops. But I want to be sure there are no pictures on them before recycling them, right? So I have to dust them off first. Yeah, feeling safe that you feel good about recycling them. Feeling energetically, nervous system-y, okay with what you're doing, and maybe even not even just okay, but feeling good about it. That's why I'm a decluttering life coach. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and I come on to TikTok pretty much every day, except for when I don't, to help you for free with your clutter. Now, I do one-on-one coaching for the people who want me exclusively in their lives. But I also do these things because I'm a philanthropist in that way. Because I know what it's like to struggle with clutter. So I show up and help you do this. Now, one-on-one coaching makes you more accountable to do stuff. So if you like accountability, perhaps that's something you want to investigate. But notice what we're talking about. Feeling good physically, feeling good energetically. You know? Yeah. And Kirsten says, do you work remotely with any client? Well, here, I work remotely with every one of my clients. What we're doing right here on my phone and your technology is what I do with my clients. I have clients all over the country. I'm in the eastern part of the United States. I grew up in New England, Massachusetts, and I live in PA right now. But I only do it remotely. And the reason I do that is because I don't need to be in your house to help you. All I would do, seriously, would be pick up something and I'd say this. All right, what is this? What do you want to do with it? I can ask you what you want to do with a thing that you paint, you know? And then I teach you how to get in touch with what you want to do. Okay? Yeah. So I work remotely with all of my clients, but I don't work with just any old client. I work with people who are eager and ready to work with me to transform their lives. I literally have it written down right there. I just read that to myself. If you are eager and ready to transform your life, then we hop on a free Zoom call to make sure what I offer is going to help you get what you want. Okay? And if it works out and we work, then we coach together. Now, user 5259 says, my house is on the market and we had no choice but declutter and donate. Best way to declutter. I'm glad that worked out for you. I prefer to do it mindfully. I don't want to throw away something that somebody else could use or something that I may miss in the future. Okay? And, oops, I just did a little thing here. That's the pace I go through my stuff. If you do it differently, I'm glad that works out for you. Awesome, please. I don't judge. Now, Carol is saying, struggling with storing family photos in their frames. Here's an interesting thing. Notice you're not hanging them or displaying them in their frames, but you're storing them in their frames. So if you're struggling with storing the family photos in their frames, notice that your brain is offering up some of the ingredients to the answer to this right away, a possible answer. So Carol, I just ask you, because I've done this myself. If you are struggling to store family photos in their frames, could you take them out of the frames to make it easier to store them? Now the answer is physically, yes, I could take it, but do I want to is a different story. What I have found is when you chunk things down, when you break the spell of thinking things are that precious, okay? And when you touch something and say, I can break this into smaller bits, it takes the spell away from it. It is just, it's a photo and a frame. I can separate them. Then the frame may lose some of its appeal, its energy. Oh, now I can just donate that to a donation place because somebody may want that frame. Now that I have the photo is more important to me. And I'm going to please, on your family photos, on any photos, write down on the back of them who it is and what year it was taken. Okay? Now, I love this. Patty says, ugh, bought a dress for a trip a month ago. Mostly black, but it's 90 degrees there. Now, I wear black even in the 90-degree heat, but that works for me. But she just said, but categories just made me see it. Okay? Yeah. Break the spell. You can do that. You will notice that a whole set of china does not have to remain a whole set of china. You can keep 1, 2, 2 little dolls, 1, 2, 2 little plates, 2 little dolls, 2 little plates, all having tea in a little dollhouse. Remember that one? You don't have to keep all of it. You don't have to keep any of it. You can do whatever you want. But it does cast a spell on you. You can't touch this. And not like the what's his name? Oh crap, what was his name? Can't touch this. Somebody put it in the comments. I can picture him doing that little like Space Invader dance. You can chunk things down. MC Hammer, thank you, Barbara. I wicked appreciate it. I always talk about Vanilla Ice because if I say, if you get the problem, yo, I'll solve it. And I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm always thinking in musical terms. I love it. Everybody knew it was MC Hammer. So thank you very much, everybody. Again, our brains remember things and sometimes they forgot. So very cool. Very cool. Okay. Now, Susan says, I'm in the process of decluttering. I have to move temporary to get a water damage repaired. Help. Okay. This is the thing about decluttering under pressure. Speaking of Vanilla Ice and Queen and David Bowie, Gen X. All right. When you declutter under pressure, you may not be working at a pace that feels good to you. You may need to do it more quickly to get things moving up. And you may not be making good decisions. So what I highly recommend is if you have the ability to do this, to move things out of the way of your repairs. But as you're doing that, categorize things, and when you put them elsewhere, label them so you know what they are. And then perhaps when the water leak is done and you're putting things back in, this is what my husband and I are doing literally, well, not literally right now, he's still in bed, but today is we have everything, every single item except for the dehumidifier from our basement up on the living area of our house. Our house is a cluttered mess. But what we're doing and what he's doing with his stuff specifically is categorizing it so he can see the quantity and quality of things he has in a certain category. When he sees the amount of things he has and decides whether they work, whether he wants them or not, when he's good with that, then we are able to then find a proper container that fits on the shelves that we can label so we can easily find things, easily use them, and easily put them away. But sometimes you don't have kind of, as I say, the luxury of time, which I believe is a David Mead album, okay? Sometimes you don't have the luxury of time. But everybody else here who is not decluttering under duress, under pressure, start now. So you don't have to do it under pressure. A brain under pressure does not make the best decisions. Giving yourself time and space and energy and breaks and water to help you do the decluttering, start sooner rather than later. I'm decluttering right now in my 50s for my 80-year-old self. I want to have my house and home and what I have saved. I want it to be even easier as I go into my 60s, my 70s, and 80s and beyond. Right? Right? Just like on the radio. I love it. Start sooner rather than later. And if you're saying, I can't start sooner, that's where I get curious. Why not? Why not? Don't have enough time? 5 minutes can help. Don't have enough energy? Okay, get some sleep and do 5 minutes of decluttering tomorrow. You tell yourself things that stop you from doing something that if you did it, you know you'd feel better. Find out what those sentences are. It's a sentence that's like a roadblock in front of your car. Dismantle it. You know? There we go. I love it. I'm on the radio. I love it. Kathleen, I look forward to seeing you in like 6 minutes. Anybody else? We've got a decluttering party today. Okay? A decluttering party is all of us getting together on Zoom. Oh, hold on. My phone's doing something wonky. A decluttering party is all of us showing up together on Zoom for just an hour and a half. What are you doing 6 minutes from now, until about an hour and a half. Like for me, it's going to be 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern until 10:30. You got any plans? If you do, cool. If you don't, if you're just kind of futzing around, how about joining the declutter party? Test out when I say this. Okay, so user 4211619 says, I don't get the emails anymore. Do this. Send me an email so I can look up and see why you don't. All right? Beth@destinationdecluttered.com is my email address. Send me an email and say, hey, can you check and see why I'm not getting emails? Okay? The other thing, too, is, I'll be honest with you, I don't send out a lot of emails. I don't want to clutter up your mailbox. So that is why I always say, check that secret page. Even if you're not getting emails from me, you know where the secret page is. If you don't know where the secret page is and you're on the mailing list, email me and I'll remind you of it. Every email I send out is pretty much just reminding you to go look at the secret page. So practice that. Bookmark it. Make a widget of it. Make it your home screen pop-up. That's where you find out when the decluttering parties are. That's when you know when I'm going to show up for a TikTok live and a YouTube live. That's when you're going to find out, what else? Like how to sign up for coaching. All the good stuff, okay? And yeah, please do. Notice you're fearful you're not getting any emails anymore. I can help you with that. But you got to take an action. So, speaking of declutter parties, we've got about 2 minutes here, and then I'm going to sign off. I hope what I've said to you today has helped. Please, I'm not going to write a book. No, I'm meeting somebody today to talk about book writing. I've written books. Ta-da! I don't care to do that anymore. So what I say to you right now in the way that I'm transmitting my info, write it down if it means something to you. Write down what I'm sharing with you and use it for your own good. Okay? Now, I'm only here for 2 minutes, but we do have a decluttering party at 9 and a YouTube live at 11. YouTube at destinationdecluttered.com. Destinationdecluttered.com at YouTube. Okay? I have TikTok lives tomorrow, Friday. Not so much on the weekend, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've got some for next week. I actually need to update the secret page. It's probably one of the things I will do during the declutter party. Okay? So I share with you. There's help out there. There's stuff you can do with your clutter, and it's doable. Don't believe the scared voices in your head. Okay? Now I'm going to sign off right now because people are chiming in from the declutter party. They're already there, and I'm the hostess, and I haven't even opened the door yet. So, there we go. Actually, Becky says, have a great day despite all this rain in PA. It's sunny right now, so I'm going to take advantage of it, but I think we have thunderstorms later. Okay? This has been wicked fun. Again, my name is Beth, Decluttering Life Coach, DestinationDecluttered.com. Join my mailing list if you want, DestinationDecluttered.com. And let me help you with your clutter if you want. All right? Bye.